Okay, so let's get started for today. Today I'll be taking a look at a 14-day challenger. Where are you? And a photo reference piece using this reference. These are two things I like to talk about. I like to revisit because they are always going to be issues, and they are actually the best study topics, best study subjects you could have in your study curriculum. Photo referencing and 14-day challenge. But before I get started, let's talk about some important things in the community. The most important thing right now is that, okay, so go to istebrak.com and click on the Reddit icon here. Right at the top, you'll see the Floral Humanoid Design Challenge pinned at the top. Go through it, read through it. I have not uploaded the due date yet for this because there's just so much going on, and I kind of want it to be summary here in New York when I finally sit down and look at all the floral humanoids. So you guys have lots of time till spring acts a little bit more like spring and less like January because it's like sub-0 degrees here. So I was just going to wait for that springiness in the air and blooming in the trees and flowers budding and all of that before I look at these. That way I can actually just summon a spirit. I don't know if I can say bomb on Twitch, but a spirit bomb of energy from nature in order to look at your work with a bit more strength and a bit more energy and a bit more knowledge and a bit more wisdom and inspiration and spiritual energy. So I think I'm going to maybe do the due date for April 30th. That gives you guys around one more month to finish these pieces. So Floral Humanoids is basically you're picking two references, up to two references, could be one, but you cannot do more than two, of real flora and fauna from the earth. And you're creating a character out of them. And there have been some submissions already on the community, which are super cute and adorable. And I cannot wait to see how you guys flesh these out. Make sure you read through the prompt. If you don't read through it, you won't know what to do. There's a little checklist right here. Yeah, so it's a really, really fun design challenge. I host these a number of times in the year, and this is one of the maybe 4 or 5, or actually up to 3, maybe 4 challenges I have. There's a lot of challenges around around late year, because there's just more fun. It's Halloween and stuff, but there's one summer challenge, one spring challenge. I try to do a harvest goddess challenge every year. Last year I didn't do one. But yeah, read through it. It's actually really fun, and it's a great way to build your portfolio, which is what these challenges are all about. Announcement number 2 is if you see work on my videos and you want your work critiqued and you don't know how to get your work critiqued for free by me, then go to istebrak.com and click on the Reddit icon here. It'll take you to that Reddit I just mentioned, and that's where you can join, become a member, submit your work, get critiques. If you feel like you're not getting any feedback, it's because you're not participating. People will recognize your name and start chatting with you and start talking, and then you'll start building a familiarity with others, making friends here on the community. One of the most important ways to improve is to be part of a community, so it's really important for you guys to join it. The third announcement that I have for you guys is please go to my YouTube channel homepage and vote for me. Vote for me. It's a poll that I just recently posted. What do you feel is a fair price for a 2-hour jam-packed realistic portrait tutorial sold on my store? It will be the 14-day challenge companion masterclass. So anyone who has had issues with portraiture, who is trying to find a focused class or is sifting through my videos trying to find one that covers everything, there is none. You have to look through all of them, and they all cover everything collectively, but that's like 18 hours, 20 hours of worth of 14-day challenge submission videos on my channel across the last 5 or 6 years when I really started focusing on the 14-day challenge. So I am uploading a video that's a lot more convenient, but of course it's not free. It'll be sold on Oh, I forgot the name. It's completely left my mind, even though I have been talking nonstop about it for the last Gumroad. So it will be uploaded on Gumroad most likely, since it allows me to upload large videos. And this is a 2.5 hour tutorial that's also has an additional critique, applying all the information from the 2.5 hour tutorials. It's 3.5 hours plus an extra hour, so 4.5 hours together totally, but an hour additional on how to color from grayscale to color. And it will come with all of my brushes that I use for the entire tutorial. And it will come with a note, basically an entire written version of the video as notes written by me, re-explaining, reiterating, sharpening the knowledge on some of the stuff I touched on. And I've been writing it. The video is all done and it's ready to go. But I've been, of course, building the entire pack for you guys, which will be released sometime in May or June. I'll announce all that for you guys. But so far it's hit 3,400 words just in sparse notes that have been boiling down what's in the video. So the entire video is jam-packed. It's basically beginner, intermediate, and advanced friendly because it takes you from basic shape, basic oval, into fully rendered colored portrait. So it is the mother of all master classes for portraiture done by me. It is something a lot of people have been waiting for. And sometimes people like to see everything boil down into one little folder, one package, one location to go and get the knowledge. I understand that my video history and body of work can be very intimidating. It's just a really long-awaited thing that I have been just waiting to get better at teaching before I released. I feel like I had to earn sort of my place in that video tutorial world online. And I mean, I've more than earned it. I've been teaching for a decade. But in order for me to really feel like I have something publishable, because I'm a perfectionist, I want to know that what I'm teaching is life-changing, that what I'm teaching is impactful on your journey. What I'm teaching is everything you'll need to know for portraits, and it's all the foundation and fundamental knowledge. That what I'm offering in this tutorial isn't something 5 or 2 years down the line I'll be like, shit, I should have included that, or I should have included that. It is a video tutorial that is covering all aspects of portraiture for the 14-day challenge for a front view face. And if you are a character designer, if you want to become a character designer, a portrait artist, even for illustrators who want to get better at portraits, this is for all levels, all ages, all skill sets. It is information that is delivered to you both as text and voice and demonstration and before and after. It is thoroughly combed through to make sure that it is absolutely worth every penny. So this is what the final question is: how much does it cost? How much will it cost? I want you guys to be involved in this and let me know how much you want to pay for it. So considering that its brushes are included and it's 4.5 hours of content, it's a master class. It's everything you'd get out of tutoring, but in 4 hours compacted instead of 7 hours or 14 hours. And it includes a color section on how to transfer from grayscale to color and the basics and fundamentals of skin color. And it includes full detail. It includes base structure and base fundamentals, blocking, blending, the rules of detailing, everything that I have ever taught compiled into one. So what do you think something like that costs? I currently charge $70 to $80 per hour for classes. So my private tutoring is a bit expensive. I mean, it's not as expensive as other classes out there. Go and look at those prices from those other online teachers. But I've always tried to be very fair with my prices and very realistic and not a capitalist at all. So considering that it's 4.5 hours, you're dividing the 60 and 70 or 70 to 80 price range into each hour. That's less than $20 or less than $10 an hour. And if I were to go for the 40 to 50 or 60. So You know, it's a give and take. I understand there's a lot of sacrifice I have to do in order for this to be a marketable product, in order for it to be fair and acceptable, especially in this financial climate that everyone's in. But I also want it to be something that meets you guys halfway, but also meets me halfway as well. So please, please, please go and quickly vote there. I really would love your input. It gives me an idea of what's happening out there and what people want to see, and what people think is fair and what people have the budget for. And if it's something that you guys can save up for instance, those who opted for the 40 to 50, I would never charge less than 40. I don't think that's fair at all. That's like pennies an hour. But you know, for those who pick 40 to 50, 50 is not that, or 40 is not that big a jump away, and it's always something you guys can save up for. But still, this is definitely an option. These are the possible options that I have. I mean, 90 to 100 is only 2 sales of 40 to 50. So I'm very, very flexible, and I just want to make sure that this really is the majority. It's not people just being nice to me. And I understand this is a bit out there, but this is a very huge pack, as you guys know. 4.5 hours up to 5 hours, including other little tidbit videos I'll add on the side, and little additional lessons or side quests for you guys, or I have a diagnostic portion in that body of what, and then that entire tutorial pack. Sorry, I've lost my voice in the last couple of weeks. And I have a self-critiquing, how to critique yourself portion. And I have assignments that come with it, and every couple segments in the entire full tutorial, the base spine tutorial, I have assignments that you can stop, pause the video, go do assignments. It really is the equivalent, the non-one-on-one equivalent of private tutoring. You will improve 100%. There's no way my students don't improve, because I dissect your brains, I infest your brains, and I change the way you think, and I reconstruct the way you approach memorizing, approaching your visual learning. And this pack is both for visual learners and technical learners, and list lovers, and before and after visual diagram lovers, and it's just for everyone, and I'm busting my brain making sure I'm covering all bases. So please go and vote. I really appreciate if you guys participate in the vote. It makes all the difference for the final outcome. And there's comment section, so if there's something you want to see, someone mentioned, you know, it's not really worth it to charge up above 50 if it doesn't include color. Someone mentioned how many resources are included. This stuff helps me, it adds me, it gives me information to add into the pack as well, and it helps me understand what you guys are looking for, what's available out there and what's not. So important for you guys to participate in this poll. So thank you so much for those who have. I really appreciate it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to talk about what's working in the portrait and what's not working. So you attempted pupils and iris here, which is like it's a big jump, but it's something that I feel like a lot of you do and forget the purpose of the pupil and the iris. It's to look at something, to see something, to actively observe something. And you guys always draw your characters spaced out, looking away or down. So spaced out happens in the fact that the pupils are separate from each other. Take a look. Derpy, not derpy. And looking down happens in the fact, and this is not something I've covered a lot really, is in the fact that the eye must be generally higher than the inner and outer corner. Do you understand? So when an eye is looking down, it's lower or at level halfway through the inner and outer corner. Do you see that? And when it's looking up, it's above that middle line. So those are the two ways to fix the two biggest problems in eyes right now. And I think those are the two, honestly, those are the two biggest issues you guys always show. Those are the ones that stick out the most when you guys attempt pupils for the first time. It doesn't hurt to delay pupils and iris as far as possible. So I understand that you fear that you may be missing out on experience points delaying the pupil and the iris. This person was ready. This artist here was ready for pupils and iris. If they were my private student, I would have said, paint a pupil and iris next time. But for some of you, you guys don't even have functional eye sockets and you're drawing the pupils and the iris. This is unacceptable. This is you just throwing a wrench in all of your development. This is you just sending yourself back a couple years in improvement because you're delaying your ability to focus strictly on the structure of the eye. And when I say structure, I mean all of it. Function, anatomy. Function is anatomy. Light on form, geometric anatomy, blocking. You are entertaining by adding the pupil in the iris, and you are not learning when you're being entertained. Write that back to me. If your art is entertaining you, for the most part, if the majority of your art experience is entertaining, you've limited learning. That's a struggle everybody will deal with. Anybody who's trying to learn something has to sacrifice entertainment for a little while. We are advanced, sophisticated creatures with sophisticated minds. We don't always need to be constantly entertained in order to learn something or focus on something. You're not kindergartners anymore, so you don't need everything to be colorful and delivered to you by a purple dinosaur. You can sit down, remove the pupils in the iris, and focus strictly on the structure of the eye for a little while, maybe a month or two, and just so you can improve. I promise you, you will be allowed. I know we are creatures of the present and we hate being restricted, but you will be allowed to add the pupil in the iris again. But it's also good to not avoid the amount of learning or limit the amount of learning if you're in a rush to get back to it. So honestly, I sometimes with my private students, if they're really struggling for 6 months up to a year, I don't let them draw pupils and iris, and they stay in grayscale. Because if they graduate from me, they're graduating with a dependable skill set, not a pretty portfolio full of pretty colors and pretty dodge tool use. I want real skill. I want to raise dragons, basically. I'm not trying to raise little whatevers. So if you guys are going to be strong renderers, strong skilled artists that could teach what they know, that's how you know something, by the way. You could teach it. Remembering that delaying the pupil in the iris is really beneficial. And so when I add that in, yes, it's revealing the actual smile. So I don't want your 14-day challenge pieces to have any expression. Expression is a whole other galaxy of fundamentals and knowledge about the human condition and psychology, and when a smile is not a smile, when a smile is angry, when a smile is vulnerable, when a smile is intentional, when a smile is fake, when a smile is genuine, when a smile is sad, and that's just smile. So I don't burden any of my students with any expression stuff until I know that they have understanding of the narrative, understanding of what they want to do with their portfolio and who the character is, a good idea of the writing they're about to attempt in their work, as writing, expressions is writing, and of course, obviously, understanding how to paint a face from scratch. So no expressions on the 14-day challenge for a very specific reason, because you have a lot of studying left to do. So I'm just going to remove that upward tilt in the dimples so that we only have the structure of the mouth and none of the outward smile. Okay, so before, pretty big smile, after. And then I'm just going to talk about why the chin feels like it's sticking out. What's going on with the chin and the mouth? So the mouth needs a cast shadow coming off of it. Right? Because the mouth sticks out like the nose, but on a much smaller degree, and so it will catch the light. And then also the mouth feels a little bit pursed, like it's puckered up. And so I'm going to ease that up a little bit. And also you've canceled out the core shadow of the cylinder of the mouth for the most part. The geometric anatomy, the geometric shape equivalent of the mouth is a cylinder, or the lip is a cylinder. And the radial shading of either corner doesn't just hang out like a big chocolate stain. It kind of cuts off when the upper cylindrical highlight of the lower lip takes over. So in actuality, the cylinder of the mouth goes this far out. All right, burn that into your brain. Same for the top lip. Okay. So obviously not in that amount, because that's not the opacity we need right now, but definitely in that track. And then I'm gonna get pure black here, not pure black, but a variation of it, and use it under the mouth. Zooming out to smudge is also a hidden little technique. Zooming out to smudge helps you catch banding. And then I'm just going to boost the highlight under the eyebrow. Eyebrows secrete oil, so that also helps us push the realism a bit of the skin texture. Skin has texture. It's on the, yes, less textured side of the spectrum of texture visible on the earth, but it's still texture. Sides of the nose could use a bit of blending since they slide right in. And here and here, just lessening some of that. Burn tool on midtones should help me just push the contrast of the mouth just a little bit more now that I'm completely done and know the full contrast of the eyebrows. Might push it a little bit on the eyebrows with shadows. But I'm look at my exposure. It's very, very low. And same thing on the other side, but again, midtones. And then burn on highlights is also great because it lets you do that non-destructive burn. It lets you do a total burn. Okay, so other areas that may need some contrast is the shadow of the neck on the head. Right now it looks like he's kind of thrown his head back. Shadow of the neck, shadow of the head on the neck. And that's not by a lot, it's just a couple more brush strokes to boost it, deleting above the jawline. But this is a quick reminder to everyone who's watching the video. Please go and have a look at my community tab on my YouTube channel. Scroll down and do a quick vote for me for the price you feel is an acceptable price for the upcoming tutorial masterclass. It's a 14-day challenge tutorial companion masterclass that is basically everything you need to know about portraits when doing the 14-day challenge. And for those who are wondering what it is, who are new to all of this, the 14-day challenge is a portrait that you do, a portrait study that you undertake, and it goes on for 14 installments of the same portrait without using reference to help perfect your ability to paint a face. But the secret is getting critiques between each post submission and posting it on the Reddit community. So critiquing is one way to improve, and this helps you get everything, learn everything at the same time: how to take critiques, how to give critiques, and also how to paint a portrait. Because it's male, I've just decided it's male, I'm not going to over pigment the lips, but you may want to, and if you're painting it as a female. And then I'm just going to lighten the inside of the lower eyelid just a little bit, just so it doesn't feel like makeup. Just the inside of the lower eyelid, not everywhere. The eyes do look alert. It looks like a driver's license ID, but it looks realistic, definitely. Basically, all your 14-day challenge and submissions should look like a driver's license ID picture. It has to be front view. Yes. Perfect your front view, because in order to understand three-quarter view, you have to understand symmetry first. You have to know how to paint a face with symmetry without depending on the mirror tool on Photoshop. You should start with that, but you can do other poses. So it goes like this: 14-day challenge, front view, grayscale, no pupil and iris. 14-day challenge front view color with people in iris. You may have people in iris and grayscale in later days. 3/4 view 14-day challenge grayscale, 3/4 view 14-day challenge color, and then you do front view, 3/4 view, side view at the same time. 14-day challenge. You're painting 3 faces or 14 days on 3 different angles, all color. That's how I divide my beginner students from my advanced students. They have these different assignments. Okay, so that's a lot of stuff to cover in a day. We've hit an hour and 16 minutes. Thank you everyone for coming. Let us recap on some of the announcements from today. Please, please, please go to my YouTube channel and vote for what you believe is a fair price for the upcoming, Bob Ross is my suggested, for the upcoming tutorial masterclass. I will be selling a masterclass on Gumroad that will include everything you need to know about the 14-day challenge, everything. So please go here and vote. What do you feel like is a fair price? So to give you a quick rundown, it will be in color. There will be a color segment. It will be from beginner to advanced, fully rendered piece, even more rendered than this one. It will be a female because it's a little bit more commercially viable, but there is a small segment on how to make that female look like a male. There are brushes that you get with it. There's an assignment pack that you get with it. There is a video self-diagnosing assignment that you do at the start. There is a critique in it of another person's class who has submitted their piece to me to use in my tutorial pack. Yeah, that's it. So it's a lot of stuff. It's like 4.5 hours of content. And then you have an entire text, 5,000 word notes written by me for you that you can read alongside the while watching. So I wrote your notes for you, and divided and organized all the knowledge for you. It's a lot of stuff, but I understand that not everybody has $100 lying around. But it is your education. You are investing in it. So I want to meet you guys halfway. Let me know what you think of fair prices. Comment here with your thoughts. What is something that other resource packs out there are missing that mine could have? It would really help me make more of this because I've been waiting my entire life to release something like this. And I want it to be as perfect and perfect as possible. I am a perfectionist. I am obsessed with that a little bit because I want to make sure this is my legacy. This is what's out there, a part of my legacy. And I want to make sure that it doesn't need too much editing down the line. So thank you everyone who's voted so far. Go to istebrak.com to get your work critique. Click on the Reddit icon at the top. It'll take you to our subreddit. If you are amped up and you're ready to go and want to do a 14-day challenge, you can start submitting your 14-day challenge here. Everybody gets critiqued. Everybody is getting what they need out of this community once they start, as long as they give back and critique others as well. Does not matter if you're not at their skill level. Everybody sees something that another might not have seen. We all know what humans look like. Yeah, there's that, and then there's the Floral Humanoid Design Challenge, which I just can't wait for, because it comes hand in hand with gardening for me. I love gardening. It's been my therapy lately, and I cannot wait until it warms up a little bit more here in New York. It's been a tundra and really depressing. So the day that pretty much April 31st, sort of, when it's late spring, when things start to bud and flower, is when this will be due. I'll let you guys know, but generally you have 1 month left for these. Read through it. It's fun. And I'll be posting some on Instagram. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I really suggest you do, because I submit some bomb ass memes there. But if you want to get some, some little sketch challenges and stuff like that, I'll be submitting what I feel like is a good example of a floral humanoid challenge. I'll also submit them here for inspiration. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming today. If you want to get Portrait Studio, it's available on my store, and I'll see you guys next class Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, hopefully, if my health allows. And thank you all for coming today. Bye.